In the headlines, unspecified number of victims fear death in Plateau village attack. Police confirm 16 people killed in Taraba chieftaincy tussle. Federal government says 13 trillion naira spent on subsidy payment in 16 years. On the foreign scene, 3 dead, 6 injured in New Mexico shooting. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for joining. And now the details. Gunmen early on Tuesday morning attacked Kubat village in Mangu local government area of Plateau State, where many people, including women and children, were reportedly killed. The gunmen were reported to have invaded the community when the villagers were asleep. Governor Simon Lalong, who confirmed the incident, described it as a sad development, directing security forces to pursue the attackers and ensure that they were arrested. In a statement by the Lalong's Director of Press and Public Affairs, Makut Simon, the governor had equally directed the State Emergency Management Agency and the Peacebuilding Agency to visit the area and ascertain the humanitarian need so as to bring succor to those affected while thorough investigation is being carried out. The spokesperson of the State Police Command, DSP Alabo Alfred, is yet to respond to the inquiry by our correspondent on the casualty figure of the incident. Trust TV's Ado Musa now gives us an update.
Well, so far, the executive chairman of the local government area, Minister Daboud, has imposed a 24-hour curfew in the entire local government area. The chairman also directed all the security agencies to ensure total compliance in order to restore law and order within a short period of time. The chairman also promised to work with all security agencies in order to arrest the perpetrators of the act and bring them to book. However, before the announcement of the local government chairman, the executive governor of Plateau State, Simon Bako Lalong, had earlier also directed all security agencies in the state to ensure that the perpetrators of the act are arrested and brought to book.
Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has assured victims of communal clash in the Igana area of Oyo State of speedy dispensation of justice. The governor stated this at Igana in the Iwajoa local council district when he led a delegation on an inspection tour to assess the level of damage done by the yet-to-be-identified suspected hoodlums. Governor Makinde, who promised to broker peace among the various ethnic groups there, called for religious tolerance among residents of the community. Sam Glory has more.
Igana community is an agrarian settlement located in the Iwajoa local government area and is predominantly occupied by residents from the Fulani extraction. It has been home for them for decades. Recent clashes amongst residents of different ethno-religious background has resulted to the needless loss of lives and property, and has also left in its wake an atmosphere of fear and mistrust. Little wonder the Oyo State Governor and his delegation are in the ancient town to assess the level of damage with a call on all to embrace peace. We are also citizens of Nigeria. For someone like me, I was born here. I'm also their leader, a wounded person who alive has the chance of surviving. So let's heal and continue living together in peace and harmony.
We ensure that justice is done. Ensure that they are also catered for. Because this is the government for everybody.
The governor also met with leaders of religious ethnic groups, and the message at the meeting, Governor Makinde stressed that no meaningful development could be achieved in an atmosphere of insecurity.
But we don't want the cycle to continue. That's why I am here. I don't want reprisal, okay, they kill people here, we will mobilize our people also and kill others, and then they will mobilize and say they will kill others. As a government, we will do everything possible to ensure that the people are properly settled.
An unspecified number of people have lost their lives in the recent crisis. Leaders here are calling on government to urgently put machinery in place to secure lives and properties. This can affect the citizens. Anywhere there is crisis, there can be no development. We should all embrace peace and agree that anytime there's a problem, we will go and report to the police. Governor Makinde promised to make Igana a hub for tourism, while also assuring that succor will come the way of victims affected by the recent clashes.
Taraba State Police Command have confirmed that 16 people were killed in chieftaincy tussle between Karimjo and Wurukum ethnic groups in Karim Lamido local government area of Taraba State. Spokesperson of the command, SP Usman Abdullahi, confirmed 16 casualties were recorded, adding that normalcy has returned to the area. He said State Police Commissioner is now in Karim Lamido town and is assessing the situation. Violence erupted in Karim Lamido town headquarters of Karim Lamido local government area when the new chief of Wurukum chiefdom, who was presented with the staff of office by Governor Darius Ishaku 5 days ago, entered the town with his entourage. Nigeria Customs Service Federal Operation Unit Zone B says it has made a seizure of different prohibited items with a total duty paid value of over 628 million naira at different locations in the zone. The controller of the zone, Musa Ibrahim Jallo, while briefing journalists in Kaduna, says the seizures were effected between the month of March and April 2023. The report.
Briefing the media, the controller of Federal Operations Unit Zone B of the Nigeria Customs Service, Kaduna, Musa Jallo, revealed that some of the items seized include marijuana and other prohibited items.
The operators of unit, while on credible intelligence, intercepted one used Mitsubishi Kanta, registration number AKR10XD, conveying sacks of cannabis sativa, otherwise known as marijuana, concealed with bags of cassava flakes and sandals along Bangudu Safe Road in Zamfara State. After physical examination, the bags were found to contain 40 sacks of marijuana with still value of 2,069,140.40 kobo.
Other items intercepted include military uniform, premium motor spirit, among others.
Similarly, on 23 March 2023, our operators intercepted a suspicious-wide illegal nicotine substance together with 2 male substances, 1 locally made pistol in the course of anti-smuggling operations and with the regulatory axis. The suspected illegal substance together with the male substance were brought to the office for further actions. Officials of the NDLA Drug Law Enforcement Agency Kaduna State Com were invited to carry out a test on the suspected illegal substance to determine its true nature. The test further proved that the illegal substance to be opium, substantive with total weight of 428 kilograms. The street value of the opium substance is 31,018,569.98 kobo only.
The controller, while reiterating the commitment of the zone, also solicited the support of the communities around border areas to continue to provide useful information that will assist them to impound prohibited goods. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Governors in the North Central Geopolitical Zone have appealed to the All Progressives Congress to review its zoning arrangement for the leadership positions in the 10th National Assembly. APC had listed Senators Godswill Akpabio from the South, Akwa Ibom, and Barrow Jibrin from the Northwest, Kano, as preferred candidates for Senate President and Deputy, respectively. In the House of Representatives, the party endorsed Tajuddin Abbas from the Northwest as the Speaker and Benjamin Kalu from the Southeast as Deputy Speaker. The Chief Executive of the states in the North Central resolved to meet with the President-elect Bola Tinubu and the APC National Chairman Abdullahi Adamu for possible reconsideration of the zoning template. They took the decision after hours of deliberations on the issue at a meeting of their caucus in Abuja on Monday night. The race for the leadership of the 10th National Assembly is becoming tougher, few days to May 29, when the 9th Assembly will be called off. Although the ruling All Progressives Congress, which has majority in the upper and lower chambers, declared a zoning arrangement for the positions, some aspirants vying for the Senate presidency and speakership are, however, opposed to the party's decision. As the issue rages on, one question on the lips of Nigerians is whether or not elections into the National Assembly leadership will be based on merit or zoning. Ibrahim Ismail speaks to political analysts and Nigerians.
With every passing day, horse trading continues in the two chambers of the National Assembly for the elections of principal officers ahead of the end of the 9th Assembly on May 29th. The ruling All Progressives Congress APC has majority and has zoned the Senate presidency and speakership to South-South and Northwest respectively. However, the APC National Assembly Aspirants Caucus has since rejected the zoning arrangement, creating room for a heated public debate on the matter among Nigerians. Nepotism is what underdeveloped this country. Godfathers install incompetent leaders because they are their godsons for personal interest. Those doing so should fear God. It is bad to enforce leaders. It is taking us backward. People had voted in the last election and their votes count. Democracy should prevail in the National Assembly. Elections to fill principal positions in the National Assembly should be free from any regional sentiment. Youth should be allowed to take over because most of the leaders are between 70 and 80 years old. While some Nigerians reject zoning or nomination of candidates by the APC in the election of the National Assembly leadership, political analysts believe that for quality leadership to emerge in the country's legislature, a free and fair election must be allowed to take place at both the upper and the lower chambers.
If there is a teamwork, if there is a unity, if there is adherence to the due process and rule of law, whoever is the leader, it will not change anything, it will not make any difference, it will still be the same thing, we will have what we want. But I am urging them to allow internal democracy within the party to work out. Let them allow those that are contesting, let them allow the National Assembly as an independent entity that has freedom constitutionally to determine who should be and then to go on board instead of imposing, which at the end of the day will lead to revolting.
As it stands, top contenders for the speakership position are Ahmed Idris Wase, Aliyu Mukhtar Betara, Tajuddin Abbas, and Sada Soli Jibia. For the Senate presidency, Godswill Akpabio, Oji Uzo Kalu, Abdulaziz Yari, and Sani Musa are the major contenders. However, zoning arrangement of the APC has given some candidates an upper hand in the race. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
The federal government says over 13 trillion naira was spent on subsidy payment in 16 years between 2005 and 2021. The secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, stated this in Abuja during the launch of the 2022-2026 strategic plan of the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. According to the SGF, the figure could have been more in financial terms and opportunity cost to the nation if some cost-cutting measures were not put in place by the government. He said the government is following the debates around subsidy removal by the citizens, some of which include the need to fix the nation's refineries and the creation of visible safety nets programs to reduce the impact on the poor and vulnerable in the society, especially workers. No fewer than 200 retired police officers staged a peaceful protest in Bauchi State, demanding the Inspector General of Police to expedite their exit from contributory pension scheme over the lingering issues that started since 2012. They made their grievances known during the protest to the Bauchi State Commissioner of Police at the State Police Command. Adamu Imam reports.
At the peaceful protest, the retired Nigerian police officers in Bauchi re-echoed their appeal to the Inspector General of Police, Baba Al-Kali, to pave the way for their removal from the contributory pension scheme as they are suffering instead of benefiting. Leader of the protesting police pensioners is ASP Ado Tafida, retired. He is represented at the protest by the Secretary of the Association, John Elia.
Members has died due to the way and manner they were frustrated. I also seize this opportunity to tell you that PENCOM, as you know, is a killer disease and was introduced to ease suffering of retired workers of Nigeria. But it turns out to be a different thing, where some organizations from agencies were pulled out due to some selfish reasons. By God's grace, we shall soon cross the bridge, inshallah. Thank you.
While responding, the State Police Commissioner Aminu Al-Hassan stated that the retired officers have done more for the country than what they are getting as ex-officers, and assured them that their grievances will be communicated to the IGP.
Even with you, I pity you, and by grace of Allah, I will make sure that whatever I will do to uplift this problem, I will do. The PENCOM you want to exit from, if I ask you, where do you want to go? You didn't mention it. You understand? If somebody say, for example, he doesn't like to stay in Bauchi or he doesn't want to stay in Nigeria, okay, where do you want to go? You didn't mention. You're supposed to have mentioned that one.
They also urged their members to remain steadfast as their struggle will continue until they reclaim their request is granted. Adami Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at minimizing indiscriminate cutting of trees. Details and more after the break.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. You're still watching the news update on Trust TV. Here's a look at the top stories again. Unspecified number of victims feared death in Plateau village attack. Police confirm 16 people killed in Taraba chieftaincy tussle. Moving on, the Federal Executive Council on Monday approved the establishment of 36 new private universities across the country following a memo presented by the Ministry of Education. Briefing journalists after the special meeting presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, the Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu, said that with this approval, there are now 72 private universities in the country. Adamu stated that the approval was given considering the importance of education in bolstering the economic fortunes of the country. On his part, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, said that the Council also approved the universal implementation of the Employee Compensation Act 2010. He explained that the law is operated by the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, noting that it is a replacement of the old Employee Compensation Act that was known as Workmen Compensation. According to him, the Council has approved it for universal implementation, meaning that apart from the private sector that is already implementing, the public sector, which is government, federal, state and local governments, have now to adopt this for the protection of their workers. The need for more awareness creation and advocacy to minimize deforestation or indiscriminate cutting down of trees has become imperative due to the effects of climate change. Jimmy Azande reports that in Benue, an invention called Abacha stove is a flight risk to the ecosystem. The report.
Many, including a university don and climatologists from the Benue State University, Makurdi, said a number of factors are responsible for deforestation in the state. They also listed some of the consequences.
If you look at the statistics, the level of deforestation, especially in Nigeria and Benue State, is alarming. Probably because we are not taking into consciousness the role these forests play in our environment. Forests serve a lot of purpose in trying to help keep our environment in order. Climate-wise, forests play a role in regulating the microclimate of an environment.
People cut down trees to get charcoal for domestic use, for timber, so on. One thing we forget is that while we cut down these trees, we don't replace them. And when we don't replace them, they have a drastic effect on the environment, like flooding. These trees serve as windbreak. When we cut them out and the wind comes in high volume, they can take off roofs, etc. and all that. So when we cut trees, we should replace them more. Like if you cut one tree, replace them with 2 trees.
And again, deforestation also causes land degradation. Some people are not aware on the effect of deforestation. They are doing it mostly because they want to do agricultural practices. So normally when there are a lot of trees in farms, that make farms to produce less quantity of product. So for them, they remove all those trees to enable them cultivate lands.
The university don also said there are good policies on paper, but the government has over the years failed to protect the environment. This, he said, is a stumbling block to efforts geared toward mitigating climate change realities, like the scorching sun and flooding, among others.
If you look at our country and you look at our policies, they are very fine. The problem is the implementation. We have the Ministry of Forestry, we have forest gas, and even with all of this in place, our forests are diminishing. So it's all about having a wake-up call and making these ministries live up to their standards. All they need to do is create that consciousness in people and let them know that this is the role forestry plays in our environment, and then make people know that when you cut down a tree, you replace it. We can't stop people from cutting down trees, but as you cut down, you replace. If you cut one, plant 3 more, so that we'll have what you have taken replaced, and then our forests will be in place.
There is need for awareness creation, especially among the rural people, on the consequences of harmful practices against the environment.
Now, on the foreign scene, an 18-year-old gunman killed 3 people before being shot dead by police outside a church in the state of New Mexico. Several people, including 2 police officers, were also wounded by the armed teenager who went on a shooting rampage in a residential area of Farmington, New Mexico. Farmington Deputy Police Chief Barry Kroom said in a news briefing that a total of 9 people, not counting the suspects, were victims of the shooting, but it was not clear whether the tally included the 3 people who were killed. The gunman, identified only as an 18-year-old, was believed to have acted alone. There was no information provided about the 3 people killed, and no motive was readily apparent. Farmington, a commercial hub for oil and gas drilling and a shopping destination for the nearby Navajo Nation and smaller towns in the so-called Four Corners area, where the states of New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and Utah meet, and has experienced at least 2 other high-profile incidents of deadly gun violence in recent years. Russian drones and ballistic missiles attacked Ukraine's capital early Tuesday in what the defense forces called an exceptionally complex strike, a day after President Volodymyr Zelensky said he will return from a European tour with a restocked weapons arsenal. The Kyiv City Military Administration said Tuesday's attack, the 8th on the capital this month, involved drones, cruise missiles, and probably ballistic missiles launched from different directions simultaneously. The busy Zolomiansky district of Kyiv, home to the international airport, was the most heavily damaged, with a fire breaking out in a non-residential building. According to a telegram post by Mayor Vitaly Klitschko, 3 people were injured in Zolomiansky, while missile debris fell on Obolonsky district, a leafy outer suburb. The latest attack on Kyiv follows Zelensky's collection of a slew of fresh arms delivery pledges from Berlin, Paris, and London, deepening a military arrangement between the West and Ukraine that has helped put Russia on the back foot. And that's it for the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.